I am Abby, I am TopKnot Stitcher. It is May, it is Maynia, and I'm very excited to be with you here today. Welcome, thank you for stopping by. If you're new, I'm so glad you're here. If you're returning, I'm so glad you're here. Jam is currently asleep in a box behind my setup, and I'm a little bit afraid that if we beckon him, my phone will fall over and this will all be ruined. So I'll show him at the end. He's really cute, curled up in a box. Sorry to taunt you with that. This is a channel where we talk about cross stitch, and this video in particular, I'm going to tell you about my Wild Violet cross stitch mania / Sania plans, because I had a stroke of brilliance towards the end of April that I am so proud of, because Stitch Mania, like, whoa. Let me tell you my history with Stitch Mania real quick. My first year that I was like back into stitching in the modern world, like 4 manias ago, I think, I had like barely figured out what it was. I had just started really watching Flosstube like a month before that, and I kind of set myself like weekly goals, like I was gonna start a new project each week. I think I only started 1, maybe 2 of them, and it was fine. Then the next year, I don't think I did anything. Last year, I did Stitch Mania, and I started a new project every day for the entire month of May. I'm glad I did it. It was really fun. Like I was kind of not dreading it at first, but I was just really curious to see if I was actually going to do it or not, because well, let me just show you what my shirt says right now. Yeah, that's like my motto. So I really did not know if I would succeed or be able to succeed without losing my mind at Stitch Mania. But I did, and it was really helpful because it broke that mindset that starting a new project is super cumbersome and annoying, and it can be very time consuming and take a little bit of organization to, you know, get all your colors in order and make any substitutions you need to make and make sure you've got the right fabric and that it's big enough and blah, 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 blah. But I was really glad I did it. And I did a mix of kits and things I kitted up myself. I did a mix of different sizes and like difficulties, but I did end up starting a lot of really big pieces, and then I didn't necessarily finish them. They're all packed away. So I'm not going to show you last Mania's progress. Maybe I will at some point. Maybe. Some of them got a lot of attention. Some of them did not. Last year I was really active in magical stitches throughout the summer, and so a lot of my whips, I started some of my Mania pieces to align with some of the weekly homework assignments. Sometimes I would just I'd be like, I want to start a small project, but I don't know which, and I would just take the box into my roommate's room and ask her to pick for me. That was fun. Or I would just randomly draw one or like spin the wheel, and it was all very fun. And I ended up starting, like I went into June, I started a few more things. But I just really, having done that, I did not want to do that this year, because this year life is crazier. These are weird times. I'm working from home. My shop has expanded. A lot of what you see here is waiting to move into my new studio space when my roommate moves. I'm busy, and I am not necessarily using all of the stitching time available to me to stitch. So anyway, all of that to say, I did a Stitch Mania. It was great. Now I'm doing a Wild Violet focused Stitch Mania, Stitch Sania. And I'm using both terms because I'm not necessarily like, if you all aren't familiar, Stitch Sania is a creation of Lindy Stitches, and she is picking, you can go watch her, she talks about it much better, but she picked a project that she really wants to make progress on this month, and so weekdays she sets a goal, and if she reaches that goal, then on the weekend she gets a new start. And it's a nice controlled way of motivating yourself to work on a project and then also getting to start fun new things. And that was great, but I was like, I don't even know what I would pick and what I would do, and I don't want to start that many new things, and blah, blah, blah. So I am doing my Wild Violet version, which is all Wild Violet cross-stitch pieces designed by my fabulous evil twin, Ryan. If you're not familiar, her link will be the first thing in my description box below. Go check out her patterns because they are awesome. And so I pulled out, at the time I had 3 Wild Violet whips. I finished one last night, so now I only have 2 whips. And then I have several Wild Violet projects that I want to start. So I'm going to walk you through all of those today. I'm going to show you what I'm planning to start like today after I upload this video, and then some of the other ones that I have planned. The one I'm starting today is the only one that's like fully ready to go. The others I still need to pull colors, and I'm waiting on some fabric, and so we'll see. Let's dive into it, I think. I started drinking Spindrift because I can get it on Amazon, and I'm really not a fan because it's so sweet, but it does taste really good, but it also is too sweet. So these are hard times. That's all we're going to say. Okay, so let me show you first my first finish of my Wild Violet Sania, and I love this piece so much. I got to be I got some behind the scenes sneak peeks because it helps to have super talented friends. And I was obsessed with this pattern, and I started stitching it before it was released. But of course I got immediately sidetracked and then barely worked on it, and a lot of other people have already finished theirs, which is fine. I'm supportive of that. But I was hoping to have it mostly done by the time it was published, and that did not happen. But I have now finished. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. That color is super accurate. So I'm gonna hold it here for a second before I move it closer so we can all appreciate the gorgeousness. This is Moon Crystal Bouquet, Be Well Moon Crystal Bouquet, one of those things, from Wild Violet. And this is her contribution to the Be Well and Stitch movement. You can get this pattern for free on her website, or you can donate whatever amount you feel comfortable with. And I absolutely love it. This is my favorite color palette in the entire world. I had such a hard time deciding what fabric to stitch it on. Like, such a hard time because literally everything I put it on looked amazing. But I ended up going with this piece. I got this, like, I think I got this. I can't really remember. Maybe someone just sent it to me. McKenna sometimes just throws in random gray fabric when I buy stuff from her. So like, it could be that. I think it was a freebie, like on a freebie table at a retreat. I have no idea, but it's this gorgeous 36 count linen. I've tried to like narrow in on what it could be, but I have not figured it out. So if you have any suggestions or any ideas, let me know, please. Because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's this like purpley brownish grayish purple deliciousness. Fun fact, all the 3 Wild Violet pieces that I have stitched on that I'm showing you, finishes and whips, are on a purplish fabric because she did a good job picking her name for her designing. Okay, so up close. Be Well, the moon, the flowers, the crystal, like the font, are you kidding? This is also still very good, accurate coloring. I'm very impressed with my lighting setup today. Oh, I just love it. I made more errors in this moon than I think I've ever made in a piece. And I made one at the very start when I was doing the outline of the moon. So my outline was off, and then of course a lot of my filling was off. And I mean, I fudged it, it's fine, I made it work, but I was like, thank goodness that I wasn't actually stitching the model for this, because I would have had to rip a whole lot of stitching out, because it took me a long time to discover my error. There's also something's off in my crystal as well. I think the rest of it is good. I don't remember finding other oh, I'm like a half stitch off. The top of my like stem is like over 3 threads instead of just 2, but you know, that's negligible. Oh, I love it so much. So I have to try to figure out how I want to finish it. I did just find this trivet, which is, I think, not quite big enough. So I got this at a thrift shop in Louisville when I was home over Christmas. And I mean, like, it covers the piece, but I don't know that it actually fits on that tile. So I need to experiment and see, because I think that could be cool. And I'm a very lazy finisher, so I don't want this piece to be languishing for months before I actually FFO it. But oh my goodness, I'm just obsessed. And we're going to prop that up. Nope, it doesn't want to. Prop it up somewhere. Okay, that kind of works. Well, no, I'm right in front of it, but you get the idea. I know what we can do. And I can distract you from how messy my background is, because I've given you something beautiful to look at. So Michelle, this cluttered corner is all for you. I know you like to look at things when you get bored of listening to the person talk. Okay, so my first finish, which means I get a new start. I've not started it quite yet because I'm still kind of finalizing the colors. But, oh, let me show you actually what it will look like so that you can help me. Please hold. I'm like more prepared for this video than ever before. Like, everything's out of the plastic. Everything's unzipped. Like, who am I? Okay, so let me show you first of all, the Be Well Moon Crystal is started to be like on a light gray, and I did have a light gray that would have looked really, really, really beautiful, but I'm proud with what I chose. And fun fact, Birdie is also stitching this. So she loved it so much that she came out of stitching retirement, which she's been in for about 3 months. And she is stitching it. She's working on it right now, or I would show it to you. But maybe by my next Wild Violet Sania update, I'll have that. And maybe I'll count that as a finish for me and start another Wild Violet piece. That seems like a good idea. Anyway, so that's what it could look like, but literally this color palette looks good on everything. So next up, I am starting the newest Wild Violet pattern, which is this, oh, sorry, I'm just like not, I'm too excited. It's this terrarium full of fireflies. Oh look, you can see out my window. How cool is that? The fireflies look like they are glowing. That is awesome. And so I ordered a piece of Picture This Plus Fathom. Oh, I took the sticker off. That was a mistake, but yes, it is Fathom. Oh, I took away my little cardboard backing thing to show you with. This is not that hard. You can solve this problem. Yes, right? Like, that's awesome. I forget. Yeah, I think I'm using this side of it so that the lighter part will kind of follow the curve of the terrarium. But ooh, it's so good. So the challenge, since I'm using this fabulous overdyed fabric, I do have to adjust the colors a little bit to make the fireflies do their glowy thing. And I don't know, it's gonna be too hard to show you in the picture. But so she did this really cool effect where there's some full crosses with just one strand, and then some half stitches with one strand, and then also 2 strands. So it gives a more 3-dimensional effect, and it makes it look like they're just like glowing right off the fabric, and it's so cool. So I do have to figure out the right shades of blue to use for that, because there's so many fabulous colors in this. So I haven't quite settled on it. I'm gonna do some like test swatches and figure out what will be the best fit. And then I think the other colors are all good to go. But oh, I'm so excited. So excited. So I think the goal of the glowing part is it's just like slightly lighter than the background fabric so that it like creates that effervescent quality. I can't wait. And this one's really small. It's like 40 by 70 stitches or something, so it should go pretty quick. And I intentionally chose a small new start to really set myself up for success, because then if I finish my other 2 whips that I'm about to show you, I'll have another finish and I can have another Wild Violet new start, and the cycle can just continue, maybe until I've stitched her whole catalog. Probably not that much, because I've got other stuff to do. But anyway, super excited. So this project is going into my Evil Twins tote bag that Ryan designed, and it looks like us. I have the moon, she has her logo. It's so cool. She's my favorite stitcher. Okay. Let me show you my other 2 whips, and then I do have some Stitch Sania related haul that I will share, and then we'll go through all the new starts that are coming up that are not fully kitted or prepared. So the next piece I'm going to be working on, next piece I am working on is All the Powers of Hell by Wild Violet. This is fantastic. Maleficent is my favorite Disney villain, or one of. Or maybe she is. I don't know. She's cool, right? Like, unarguably. So this pattern Ryan made last year. I actually have the cover page printed out in color. So that's what it will look like. Awesome. All the powers of hell. And I decided to stitch my green in a toile, so it would have a little bit of magic sparkle to it. And this is my first time stitching with a toile. I do carry it in my shop, mostly, not mostly. I have the whole line in my shop. It kind of sparkles. I don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera at all. You can kind of see it, but it's not as noticeable as I expected it to be. And then my stitches are pretty messy, which I actually think is partly because of my tension. This is a linen that my dearest friend Jen dyed for me, because she is also stitching this piece, and she dyed some for herself. And I said, oh, that's very nice. And she sent me some because she's a dear. This needle minder is also from her. She has a really cool shop at deliciousthreads.com. This video will be entirely promoting Wild Violet, Delicious Threads, and like a little bit of myself. Anyway, this is my first time stitching a toile. My stitches are really messy. I'm gonna put this into a Q-snap and see if that helps. Because for whatever reason, this fabric, I like cannot, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's not as drum tight as it should be, and I got too annoyed with it last night trying to fix it. So, Jen is also stitching her Fire in a Toile, and we're both kind of unsure of what we think. I don't know. I'm stitching with really short lengths of thread, which I think helps. I'm not using a thread conditioner because I really don't like using thread conditioners because I'm too lazy. So I don't know. We'll see, but I love her. She's also very, very small, and so this could be a very near finish in my future. And I absolutely love it. If I haven't said that enough. And then last but certainly not least, I love that piece is just 2 colors. Like, after, I mean, not Be by the Moon, goodness. This only has like 9 colors, 8 or 9. But it was annoying because 2 of them I didn't have, and I didn't have them in my shop, so I ordered them from another shop, which was, I'm glad I could support someone else, but also I was like stuck without them for a long time, because mail is slow and life is hard. So I really am enjoying the Maleficent and this next project I'm going to show have a very limited color palette, and that means it is much more likely that I can stitch it as charted. Except I didn't actually stitch this next one as charted. Let me show you. Next up is my Salem Witch House by Wild Violet. So again, a beautiful purple fabric. I forgot to specify the purple earlier, but that one was super purple. You get it, you get it, you get it. Oh, it's so cool. I don't actually know if I saved the photo of this one. I have it printed in black and white, so use your imagination. Oh, it's so good. So it's based off of the, what is it, like the judge's house in Salem, Massachusetts? I don't know, some cool historic house that has to do with Salem, and I will stitch anything with the moon, and I love this. So I was super excited to have the perfect piece of random 40 count linen that I picked up at Silkweaver, at Needleworkers Delight in New Jersey last summer. And I bought this because I was just like, that's cool, that's pretty, I can find something that I like for that. And then a few weeks later, Ryan released this pattern, and I was like, I have just the thing. So I am stitching it on this 40 count. It's like a solo die. I was gonna say a mystery die, but that's not what they call it. It's a mystery die, and I switched up the colors on this one. It's just charted for DMC, and I mixed it up a little. So the overall pattern is like the house is all this black. I think it might just be 310. I'm not sure. And then the moon, and then there's like an accent color of teal. And I picked out a few things from my stash to use instead. And I'm super pleased with how my choices turned out. So I'm using Weeks Caribbean for the pop of color. I am using Weeks, oh no, what is this one? Onyx, okay, yes, that's what I thought. I'm using Weeks Onyx for the black. It's got a lovely brownish, greenish, grayish variegation to it. And then this is my favorite color in cotton, Stonehenge. It's like a go-to moon color for me. So I'm really loving how that's turned out. Is it Diana who did hers with green instead? I might be misremembering that, but oh man, I just love it. The Hocus Pocus needle minder, which is what makes me think that I'm stitching the Hocus Pocus house that Ryan also designed. Even though it's not, but related. Hocus Pocus needle minder is in my Etsy shop. I don't think that one's on my website yet, but I can put it there. Oh, I just love this one. So this house is pretty intense. It's a lot of stitching, and it's a lot of counting and not making your entire house wonky. So this will take me, I think, a little bit more time than Maleficent. It's a much bigger piece. It will definitely take me more time, but that's okay. And I'm keeping this one in this little Halloween project bag, which Ryan has a bag with the same fabric, and we had them together at the same time because we're evil twins. So fun. Okay, so those are my Wild Violet projects. Let me show you what I'm starting as soon as I finish another thing. Oh, let me also first show you my haul, because when I had this realization, I was like, okay, this is very cool. I'm going to be supporting one of my closest stitchy friends who also is like a great help and inspiration and motivator in my stitchy business life. I want to also love and support and gush about the other very close stitchy friend who is a great inspiration and motivator and what else did I say? Supporter and I don't know, all the things of my stitchy business life. So my girl Jen, Delicious Threads, Delicious Jen, as I like to call her, she just released this new needleminder set of the Disney villains. She took the Disney villain stamps from a few years back. I don't know if you remember those. And was like, I have a great idea, because if you send this on a letter, it's going to pretty much just be gone. And instead, she put them on a needleminder. Can you even? Are you focusing? Come on. It's too bright. It doesn't want to, but you get the idea. It's the evil queen from Snow White, who is my other favorite Disney villain, because Snow White was my jam growing up. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So I obviously had to get the evil queen, and she'll get to go on a new start that I'll figure out soon. And then, you know, I was like, well, I need more than just a needleminder. It can't travel alone, as the kids say. And so I got myself another Delicious Threads project bag. These are the best bags. I don't know that I will ever buy another maker's bag. That's not true, because other people are talented, but I love this bag. I have one that's the same size and shape in Harry Potter fabric, and I love it because it perfectly fits an 8x8 Q-snap, and I dislike it when I have to use a rectangular bag for a square Q-snap. These are first world problems, but this is the Dapper Fox project bag. I don't know if she has any more of this size in stock, but I think she had a couple other styles. She makes some with like the vinyl front windows, and maybe she makes, I don't know, she makes some other sizes and stuff. She's very, very talented. Go check her out, please. I love the gray fabric that is happening up there. And then the inside is this like white on white polka dot fabric. Yes, I'm here for it. This is super well made. This makes me never want to try to sew a project bag because it's just so good. And then because I was in the middle of treating myself, I was like, well, do you know what else I kind of want? A thread keep, because I've remembered recently how much I love thread keeps. And this is the Snowberry thread keep. There's a matching needle minder as well. And I just super love it. Here's how I typically use thread keeps. Let me let you in on a secret. I save them for a project that has an appropriate number of colors, and ideally where like there's kind of like distinct colors and you don't have to necessarily like write on your thread keep to keep track of things. So like this one has 12 holes, and ideally I would use this for a project that has 6 colors. So I can put my main skein of floss in like every other section. And then I have one for like a partial strand. So like I would take off my strand from the main one. I would take out the 1 or 2 strands that I need to stitch, and then those 4 remaining strands, or 5 remaining, or whatever it is, would go next to it. Sometimes I cut my length of thread to specifically match the section that I'm going to be stitching. Like these flowers, I cut a smaller piece of thread so I could just do a loop start and finish it off, and then go down here to do the next loop start and finish it off. Because I am a lazy stitcher, but I'm a smart stitcher. And so sometimes I'll use, like, the thread keep is really handy to have like multiple like lengths of thread for, well, I guess not really for that one because they all kind of needed the same, but to have just space for, it just helps. I don't know. You get it, maybe. I hope. I don't know. She's got like a heart thread keep as well, and I don't know if she has any others, but Jen, you should make more because these are really, really nice, and I will buy them all. So with my new tools in hand, let's talk new starts. The first one I'm going to share with you is one that will be started probably the latest because I cannot pick a fabric to save my life. And I've got a couple that I ordered that are on their way. But I am finally going to stitch. Oh, Abby. Excuse me. I'm finally going to stitch the Primitive Tarot Notions book because this is a super cute and super functional little stitchy book that I think could be the thing that makes me not lose every pair of scissors and everything all the time. We'll see if that's true. But I've gotten to see this in person, and I think if you go back to my like October, November videos, I did a video with Ryan, and she kind of talked through a little bit of how she came up with this and put it together and all that. So it's got the ripper, the snipper, and the stitcher, which is fantastic because puns, and I love it so much. So I will be stitching that. I have not found quite the perfect fabric. I might do some coffee dyeing of fabric, but I have decided on the floss that I will use. This is an Otterly in X Stitches color that I got, I think, on like Stash and Load or something. This is the color Hidden, and it's this super cool like smoky gray purple variegation. I mean, it's coming up a little washed out right now. Ooh, it's a little bit brighter. Kind of like eggplanty and dusty blue and purple, and like there's a tiny streak of fuchsia, but like just a taste of it. And so I was looking for a really cool like overdyed variegated floss color that I could use for the project. I think Ryan's is just stitched with like just 310, which looks cool too. But I thought that would be a really, really cool situation. And so I have a piece of, I don't remember what it's called. I have a couple pieces of fabric on their way that I think could be really good, but I have to wait and see once they get here. And if they're not really good, then I will just take something and I will coffee dye it and tea dye it and do whatever needs to happen to make it work. Whew, that one's gonna be good. That one's like kind of a bigger, I mean, it's not like that much stitching because there is a lot of empty space, but then the assembly, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And it's designed to fit on, because Ryan is a smart designer. And so it's designed to fit on if you were to get like a tube of Aida at the craft store. If you got 18 count Aida in a tube, it would fit on that 18 by 15 by 18 piece. So it's not like you need a ton of fabric if you're stitching smart. But of course, every fabric piece that I had that I liked the color was either like way too big, or it was just the wrong color, or it was way too small. So anyway, I also have finally found the perfect thing that I will be putting on this delicious walnut linen. I got this at Stitcher's Paradise because it was like I always like to look through the box of like random scraps because you can find beautiful things. This was not from a shop, but same idea. And sometimes they'll just be like wonky cuts, or actually same with this little scrap of 40 count Lakeside I got at Needle in a Haystack, because sometimes in the middle of when you get like a giant yard of fabric, right, and then it's all folded up, so sometimes like there'll be a kind of a messed up section on the fold, if that makes sense. I don't know, that's what Kathy told me one time. And so she sells them in smaller little scrappy pieces, which is like perfect for a little ornament or a little something. I don't know what I'm gonna do on this one. Yes, I do. There's a reason it's sitting out here. Anyway, so I got this piece of miscellaneous fabric. It's a 29 count, and it just says linen walnut. So I don't have any other information, but it's really pretty. And I like keep picking up fabric like this, and then I don't always buy it, but sometimes I do, and then I never have anything to stitch on it. Well, not today. I'm putting Beverly the cat ghost on it. She's adorable, and she's really small. She's like those are cookies next to her, and she's like cookie sized. She's like 60 by 60 or something small. I think she's gonna look beautiful on this, and she is the friend of Barnaby. Is he not the cutest? So they're gonna be the cutest pair ever on this delicious fabric. Oh, I love her. I got to help name her, so I feel like I am obligated to stitch her. So that's Beverly the cat ghost, and then there's Barnaby. I wonder if his, like, the pattern, I don't remember what the pattern name is. I'll link all of these below. But I want to know. It's definitely Beverly the cat ghost. Barnaby the friendly ghost? No, just Barnaby the ghost. It's a good name. So I'm super excited for that. I have not pulled any colors for it. I wonder if I have any, probably not enough to stitch both of them, like leftover ghost colored silk. Oh boy. Okay, and then the other one I am definitely starting because I haven't stitched it yet, which kind of baffles me because I don't know, it's like a very strong memory to when I first met Ryan less than a year ago, and yet she's my evil twin for life. When I met her at StitchCon, she had needle minders of the Stitcher's card thing pattern, and her business cards, or maybe it wasn't her business card, but she had these cards that she was handing out that had this Flosstube and chill pattern on the back, and I was like, that's super clever. Who is this girl? I want to be friends with her. And so I made that happen. She did hers in like a little tartan finish, so it's like the perfect little combination of like prim but also Flosstube, because yes. And so I am going to stitch that on this piece of, let me actually tell you the color, 40 count Lakeside Linens Vintage Flagstone, because I love me some gray, and because I love me some gray, dropped my floss. Oh, there it is. I'm using my other color in cotton favorite moon color, not Stonehenge, Inkwell. Whew. So a little gray on gray action. It's gonna be beautiful. It's also a quick stitch, so in theory I could finish like all of this in May if I really wanted to. I don't know that that is very likely. That is my Wild Violet cross stitch Sania Maynia. I'm super excited. I'm making sure I'm not forgetting any other pattern. Oh, this is, Ryan had needle minders made of this. No, it wasn't this, was it? Yes, it was. It was this. I don't know if I want to stitch that one or not. I might, but it would probably be at the bottom of my Wild Violet wish list. But let me, since we have some time, it's only 38 minutes. This, I keep thinking that I am stitching this because of that Hocus Pocus needle minder, but let me show you. Ooh, give me the picture. Where did you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Wait for it. It's gonna be worth it. Why is this not wanting to be friends with me? Okay. Hocus Pocus. So I do have a fabric that would look really good on, but I just don't know if that is I feel like I might get burnt out stitching, because it is aesthetically, like, it's very similar to the Salem Witch House. So I don't know, but I might add that to the list. And then I think those are all my like high ticket Wild Violet wish list stitches. Is that a thing? Yeah. But she's got a lot of really cool stuff, so please go check her out. She is my stitching aesthetic in every way. And hold on, sorry, I'm just browsing and admiring. I want to make sure I'm not leaving off anything that I was planning to start and already forgot about. But I don't think so. The rest, I think, we'll have to wait till next Maynia. We'll see. That is my Stitch Mania plans. That is my, yeah, those are my Stitch Mania plans. There we go. I'm super excited. I'm really proud of myself that I actually made it happen. And yes, it's May 10th. I'm filming this on, you know, the third. I'm a third of the way through Maynia, and I'm finally filming, and I finally had my first finish, and I'm about to have my first new start. But that's a total win. And I will probably just like keep this up past May, until my Wild Violet obsession wanes a little bit, which may or may not happen ever. So thank you for hanging out with me. I think the next time that we talk, I will be in the process of moving this into a different room in my house, and I will eventually get to have a studio craft room tour, which I'm super excited about. I'm in the process of trying to figure out like what supplies I need in terms of like storage and a desk and like a sewing table. And I have no idea what I'm doing. So I have been watching a lot of like craft room makeover videos on YouTube and like reviews of different standing desks and like all kinds of organization videos and like dollar store hacks and just everything possible. So if you have any like favorite DIY craft room suggestions, like please let me know, because I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but my top strength is input. So I like to just collect all the information and then I'll decide what I want to do with it. And it's proven to be a really nice thing to just like put on while I'm working on filling orders and stuff. Speaking of which, I have to go ship out a whole bunch of stuff. So thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. If you would like to check out Ryan's patterns, her link is below. If you would like to check out Jen's awesome needle minders and project bags, her link is below. If you would like to check out my shop, TopKnot Stitcher Shop, I will link that below, topknotstitcher.com. There's a ton of stuff on there. I absolutely love curating it for you guys. I have a lot of new things that are posted. I have some stuff that will, like, I pretty much add something to the shop every day or every other day. So definitely go check it out. If you need a project to stitch on, I'm working on getting a full line of classic colorworks because I've discovered that I really, really love classic colorworks. And I know that some overdyed threads and even just DMC is kind of hard to find right now. And I really enjoy playing with floss. I also need to figure out a better way of organizing all of it. So again, organization, suggestions, favorite boxes, like please let me know. Anyway, I have a lot of thread in the shop and I love it. And I've got a small selection of fabric. It's a lot of like chalkboard based pieces because those are a pretty safe bet. People need it, and I personally enjoy stitching on black and dark gray. But I've got a handful of other fabrics as well. I have my beloved Eliana. I don't know why, but I need to stitch her so badly. But I really do not want to start her until like one of my gigantic projects is finished. And currently, obviously I'm not working on them in the next month. So I'm gonna wait to start her, but she's on this really pretty purple fabric, and she uses all of the new DMC colors 1 through 35. She uses all of them, which is so smart. Nora Corbett, you are a genius. And she doesn't have any silks, so you know, she's like a reasonably stitchable Mira. I am putting some floss packs for her in my shop. I had someone reach out to me to request adding all of the DMC, and I was like, yes, that is a great idea, because again, it's kind of hard to get all the colors you need. So I'll be putting those up at some point this week. And I'll be trying not to start her. I don't know what it is. Like, how? I don't know. I just love her. Before we say goodbye, I'm going to show you Jam. So you will see more of my messy situation here. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Check out the links below if you like. Please give this video a thumbs up if you're watching to this part, because it does help. And it also just helps me not feel crazy and like I'm talking to myself. Please and thank you. I will also be planning out a giveaway for my next video, so you will probably want to stay tuned for that if you're a fan of primitive hair and Halloween things. So that'll be coming in June, I think. June-ish. Let me show you my adorable little kitten. Let's see. Oh, I can't turn this around. Can you see him? It's very dark in there. I hope you can see him living his best life in a box. He's living the dream. So cute. But seriously, like, the shop is taken over. But that's okay, right? Yeah. Okay, bye.